They disrespected you in front of everyone, and you felt the heat rising in your chest. The world narrowed to a tunnel. Your heart accelerated. Your mind scrambled for the perfect comeback, the devastating response that would restore your dignity. But the words tangled in your throat. Or worse, they came out weak, defensive, emotional. And in that moment, you lost. Not because you didn't fight back, but because you fought on their terms. You entered their arena, you played their game. And the Machiavellian mind knows something you're about to learn. The person who reacts is the person who loses. Every single time. Niccolò Machiavelli never wrote about your feelings. He didn't care if you felt disrespected. He cared about one thing: power. And 5 centuries ago, surrounded by assassins, betrayers, and political predators, he decoded a truth that will change how you walk through the world forever. Respect is not given. It is not earned through goodness. It is extracted through strategic dominance. And dominance begins not with your words, but with your refusal to speak. This video is not therapy. This is not about healing your inner child or learning to communicate your feelings. This is warfare, psychological warfare. And by the end of these next minutes, you will possess the Machiavellian protocol for dismantling anyone who disrespects you, not through aggression, not through clever comebacks, through something far more devastating: strategic psychological positioning. You will learn the silence that terrifies, the stare that dominates, the response that reverses all power, and the closing move that ensures they never test you again. But understand this: this protocol is not for the soft-hearted. It requires you to kill something inside yourself, the part that needs to be liked, the part that fears confrontation, the part that believes everyone deserves kindness. Machiavelli would tell you that part is a liability, and liabilities get you destroyed. If you're ready to become dangerous, stay. If not, this video will make you deeply uncomfortable. Let's begin the extraction. Phase 1. The biology of disrespect. Before you can deploy the Machiavellian protocol, you must understand what is happening to you in the moment of disrespect. Why does it hurt so much? Why does your body betray you? Because 10,000 years ago, disrespect meant exile, and exile meant death. Your amygdala, the ancient reptilian part of your brain, does not know you live in the modern world. When someone attacks your status publicly, your nervous system perceives a survival threat, fight or flight. Adrenaline floods your system. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought, goes offline. You become reactive, emotional, weak. The person who disrespected you knows this, maybe not consciously, but instinctively. They understand that if they can trigger your biology, they control you. They are not attacking your character. They are attacking your nervous system. And if your nervous system responds, you have handed them the keys to your dignity. The Machiavellian mind does not hand over keys. The Machiavellian mind recognizes the attack for what it is, not personal, strategic. They are attempting to lower your status in the hierarchy, to make themselves appear superior by making you appear inferior. This is primate politics. This is the law of the jungle dressed in business casual. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Since men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, and greedy, they will turn against you the moment it serves their advantage." He was not being pessimistic, he was being accurate. The person disrespecting you is not doing it because you deserve it. They are doing it because it serves them. Maybe they feel threatened by you. Maybe they need to look strong in front of others. Maybe they are simply bored and need entertainment. The reason does not matter. What matters is that you recognize this as a calculated move in a game you didn't know you were playing. Once you see disrespect as strategy rather than truth, something shifts. The sting disappears. The heat in your chest transforms into cold calculation. You stop being the victim. You become the surgeon. And the Machiavellian surgeon operates with precision. No emotion, no hesitation, just execution. Phase 2. The Machiavellian Silence. Here is the weapon they never taught you. Silence. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of someone who is too afraid to speak. The silence of absolute dominance. When someone disrespects you, every instinct screams at you to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to explain, to counterattack. This instinct is your enemy. The Machiavellian protocol demands something that will feel impossible the first time you do it. You do nothing. They deliver the insult. Wow, you really messed that up, didn't you? Or, did you actually think that would work? Or the subtle knife, the dismissive laugh, the eye roll, the condescending tone. The room goes quiet, everyone watches, waiting for your response, and you give them nothing, not a smile, not a frown, not a word. You hold completely still. You lock eyes with the person who disrespected you, and you stare, not with anger. Anger shows they wounded you. You stare with the cold, flat eyes of a predator, deciding if the prey is worth the energy to kill. 3 seconds. That is the protocol. Count them in your mind. 1, 2, 3. In those 3 seconds, the entire power dynamic inverts. They expected resistance. They expected you to play defense. When you give them nothing, their attack hits a void. And voids are terrifying. The silence stretches. It becomes heavy. It becomes awkward. But here is the critical insight. It is their awkwardness, not yours. You have refused to pick up the burden they threw at you, so it sits at their feet, rotting, visible, undeniable. The Machiavellian mind understands that human beings cannot tolerate empty space in social situations. We are compelled to fill silence, and the person who fills it first loses status. So you wait. You make them marinate in the ugliness of what they just did. Often they will try to cover, "I'm just joking," or "What, can't you take a joke?" This is the sound of their dominance collapsing. They are backpedaling. They are trying to reframe their attack as playfulness because your non-reaction has exposed it as naked aggression. Do not help them. Do not laugh it off. Do not say, "It's fine." Let them drown in their own words. Machiavelli knew that power is often most effective when it is withheld. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Fear does not come from violence. Fear comes from unpredictability. When you respond to disrespect with silence and that dead-eyed stare, you become unpredictable. They cannot categorize you. They cannot control you. And what cannot be controlled must be feared. Phase 3. The Machiavellian Response. After the silence, if you choose to speak, your words must follow the protocol. The Machiavellian response is not a defense. Defense is an admission of guilt. Kings do not defend themselves to peasants. The Machiavellian response is a psychological inversion. You take the frame of the interaction and you flip it. You make the disrespect about them, not you. Here are the 3 surgical strikes. Strike 1. The clinical observation. They insult you. After your silence, you tilt your head slightly. You look at them the way a psychiatrist looks at a patient having a breakdown, and you say, calm, almost bored, "Are you okay?" Or, "That was a strange thing to say out loud." Notice what just happened. You did not address the content of their disrespect. You addressed their behavior. You framed them as unstable, as emotional, as someone who lacks control. The insult no longer matters. What matters now is why they said it, and suddenly they are the one being analyzed. They are the one on trial. Strike 2, the amused agreement. Sometimes they are correct. Maybe you did make a mistake. Maybe you do have a flaw. They expect you to be ashamed. So you rob them of that satisfaction entirely. They say, "You have no idea what you're doing." You smile, a small, knowing smile. And you say, "Never have." Still winning, though. Or they say, "You're so arrogant." You look them in the eye and say, I know it's one of my best qualities. This is psychological judo. You take their attack and you agree with it so completely, so arrogantly, that it loses all power. They cannot shame you with something you openly celebrate. Strike 3. The question redirect. They disrespect you in front of others. After your silence, you look at them and ask a question that exposes their motive. Who are you trying to impress right now? This is devastating. It pulls back the curtain. It tells everyone in the room, he is performing. I am observing. It immediately lowers their status because it reveals their neediness. The powerful do not need to tear others down. Only the insecure do. The Machiavellian response is never long, never a speech, never an explanation. It is surgical, one sentence, delivered with the confidence of someone who is bored by the attack. And then you are done. You turn your attention away. You look at someone else. You check your phone. You continue as if they no longer exist. This withdrawal of attention is the final blow, because attention is the resource they were seeking. And you have decided they are not worth it. Phase 4, the frame lock. Now we go deeper. The Machiavellian protocol is not just about individual moments. It is about establishing a permanent frame. A frame is the invisible structure of a social interaction. It determines who has power and who does not. Most people walk through life in other people's frames. Their boss's frame, their partner's frame, the frame of society. They are passengers in someone else's reality. The Machiavellian mind creates its own frame and forces others to enter it. When someone disrespects you, they are attempting to establish a frame where they are superior and you are inferior. If you defend yourself, argue, or try to prove your worth, you have entered their frame. You are now playing on their board by their rules. The Machiavellian protocol shatters their frame entirely. Your silence says, I do not acknowledge your authority to judge me. Your stare says, I am evaluating you, not the other way around. Your response says, your opinion is so irrelevant that I'm curious why you're emotional about this. This is frame lock. You have locked them into your reality. In your reality, you are the authority. You are the one who decides what deserves a response and what deserves dismissal. They are now reacting to you, and the person reacting is always lower status than the person acting. Machiavelli understood that perception creates reality. He advised princes to control the narrative at all costs. You are doing the same. You are controlling the narrative of every interaction by refusing to accept the frame of disrespect. Here is the deeper principle. The Machiavellian strategist knows that respect is not about likability, it is about consequence. People respect what they fear to lose or fear to challenge. If you are constantly available, constantly kind, constantly yielding, there is no consequence to disrespecting you. They can do it without cost. But when you deploy the protocol, when you respond with that cold silence and surgical precision, you introduce a cost. The cost is social discomfort. The cost is their status being questioned. The cost is the possibility that you are far more dangerous than they calculated. Phase 5, the Machiavellian test. Not all disrespect is the same. The Machiavellian mind distinguishes between two types, the probe and the attack. The probe is someone testing your boundaries. They are curious. Can I get away with this? Will he push back? This is common in new relationships, new jobs, new social circles. Animals do this. They test, they push, they see where the fence is. The probe is not personal, it is reconnaissance. And your response to a probe determines everything that follows. If you laugh it off, if you let it slide, if you play nice, you have just signaled that your boundaries are soft. The probe will escalate. It will become an attack. But if you deploy the Machiavellian protocol immediately, even on the smallest probe, you send a message. I am not the one. Test me again and you will regret it. This is the Machiavellian test. You are testing them. Can they handle being stared down? Can they handle silence? Can they handle a frame inversion? Most cannot. Most will back down immediately, and those who back down will never test you again. The attack is different. The attack is someone who has already decided you are weak. They are not testing, they are asserting dominance. The attack requires a heavier response. The silence must be longer. The stare must be colder. The response must cut deeper. And then here is the critical move. You withdraw entirely. After you have deployed the protocol, you remove your presence from their life. You do not engage. You do not argue. You ghost them socially. You make them irrelevant. Machiavelli wrote, "If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." This does not mean physical harm. It means social obliteration. When someone attacks you and you respond with the Machiavellian protocol followed by total withdrawal, you have removed them from your world. They no longer have access. They no longer matter. And for a social creature, being made irrelevant is worse than being hated. Hate still implies connection. Irrelevance is death. Phase 6, the philosophical core. Why does this work? Why is silence more powerful than the perfect comeback? Because silence forces self-reflection. When you hurl insults back at someone, you give them an enemy. Enemies are energizing. They can direct their hatred outward. But when you give them nothing, when you simply observe them with that dead stare, they are forced to confront themselves. They are forced to ask, why did I say that? What am I trying to prove? Why is he so calm? The Machiavellian protocol works because it exploits a fundamental truth about human psychology. We are far more disturbed by indifference than by hostility. Hostility validates us. It says, you matter enough to anger me. Indifference says, you do not matter at all. And every human being craves mattering. When you rob someone of that validation, you have wielded the cruelest weapon in the psychological arsenal. Machiavelli was often called evil. He was not evil. He was honest. He looked at power without the comforting delusions that most people use to avoid reality. He saw that human beings are driven by self-interest, by fear, by the need for status, and he built his strategies on that foundation. The Machiavellian protocol is built on the same foundation. It does not ask people to be better. It simply recognizes what they are and responds accordingly. Most people are playing checkers. They think if they are good, they will be treated well. If they work hard, they will be rewarded. If they are kind, they will be loved. This is a beautiful fantasy, but it is a fantasy. The world does not reward goodness. It rewards leverage. It rewards those who understand the game and play it with precision. The Machiavellian mind does not complain about the rules. It masters them. Phase 7, the permanent shift. Once you deploy the Machiavellian protocol successfully, something changes inside you. You realize that disrespect is not a catastrophe. It is an opportunity to display dominance, an opportunity to separate the strong from the weak, an opportunity to test your own discipline. You stop fearing confrontation. You start craving it, because you know you have a weapon that most people do not even know exists. But here is the warning. This power comes with a cost. Once you see the strings, you can never go back to being a puppet. Once you recognize that every social interaction is a negotiation of status, you can no longer be naive. You will see the manipulation in every compliment. You will see the positioning in every question. You will see the probes disguised as jokes, and you will be alone in that awareness. Most people will still be asleep, and you will be awake, watching, calculating, waiting. The Machiavellian strategist is not loved. He is respected. He is not surrounded by friends. He is surrounded by people who understand that crossing him has consequences. This is a lonely path, but it is a sovereign path. You will walk through the world untouchable, not because you are cruel, but because you are impenetrable. You have built a fortress around your mind that no insult, no disrespect, no attack can breach. And that fortress is not made of walls. It is made of silence, of stillness, of strategic indifference. Machiavelli wrote The Prince not for the masses. He wrote it for the outliers, for the men who refuse to be victims, for the ones who understand that the world is a game and you are either a player or a piece. You have a choice. You can continue to react. You can continue to defend yourself. You can continue to beg for respect. Or you can deploy the protocol. You can become the storm that others fear, the silence that terrifies, the presence that cannot be disrespected because it does not acknowledge the authority of disrespect. The next time someone tries to lower your status, remember this: you are not defending yourself. You are testing them. You are seeing if they can handle the weight of your indifference. Most cannot. Most will crumble. Most will apologize without you asking. And those who do not, they will learn. Because the Machiavellian mind does not forget, does not forgive, does not tolerate. It simply removes threats with surgical precision. You are no longer prey. You are the predator. And predators do not react. They respond strategically, lethally, permanently. This is the Machiavellian protocol. This is how you dismantle disrespect, not with anger, not with words, with presence, with silence, with the cold realization that you are playing a game they do not even understand. And in that game, you have already won. Most people will watch this video and change nothing. They will return to their lives and continue to be disrespected, dismissed, and forgotten. But you are not most people. You made it to the end. That means you have the attention span of a strategist, the discipline of a Machiavellian mind. If this video gave you the weapon you needed, then you know what to do. Subscribe. Join the order. Because what we are building here is not motivation. It is transformation. The transformation from victim to sovereign, from reactive to strategic, from forgettable to unforgettable. There are levels to this knowledge that I cannot share publicly. The algorithm suppresses what is truly dangerous. But behind the membership, we go deeper. We dissect manipulation. We study power. We become the architects of our own reality. If you are ready for that, click join. If not, you have what you need. Use it, perfect it, and watch how the world begins to treat you differently when you stop asking for respect and start demanding it through your presence alone. Welcome to the protocol. Welcome to sovereignty. I'll see you in the shadows.